Alright, so I have something new I want to try today, and it's something I've been wanting to do for quite a while now. And whether you're new or have been following, if you see any of my past videos, you'll see that I do a lot of bowl turning and just wood turning in general. Now when I do bowls, I specifically work from logs, aka green wood. But because of that, I actually have quite a log collection laying around my yard. Now, when I got started in woodworking, I actually started in shop class back in high school doing furniture. And here lately, I've had an itch to want to get back into doing some furniture. So with those logs laying around and a decent chainsaw, I actually use a 462, a steel. I've been wanting to try slabbing up my own slabs. So the goal today is to give that a shot. Now, I've never done that before. This is my first time ever doing it, so this is not a how-to. This is more of an observation, watching me give this a shot. So let me get everything together, get this ready, and let's see if we can get some slabs. Alright, so this is the setup I decided to go with for my very first time chainsaw milling. Now for the mill, I found this one on Amazon, and I believe it's called the Zosen brand. It had pretty good reviews, and it ran me around $90. So I'm really curious to see how it will do, and from what I've read, it actually is a pretty good mill for, for not so much of an investment compared to something more expensive. But I did decide to spend money where I figured it would count, and that's in the bar and chain. So I decided to go with 30-inch bar and ripping chain from Grandberg, which ran me around $150. I believe it was $30 to $45 for the chain and $80 to $90 for the bar. So I'm excited to see how that works because I've actually never used a ripping chain even when ripping out bowl blanks from logs. So I'm curious to see how that'll do in this haul. And then I decided to go with some brackets, a 2x4 ladder setup across the top. And then for the end grain sealing, I went with the tried and true anchor seal, which you just can't beat that. That's what they're known for. So that's what I'll be using to try to stop the cracking. So let me get the mill and the saw, get this thing set up, and let's get some cutting done. So that seems to be it. Wasn't that difficult, but it was tedious. The instructions are okay. They're not the best, but they could be worse. It took, I think, around 30 or so minutes to get this thing together. But yeah, everything looks good. So let me get the boards running across the top of the log so I can set the depth, and we'll get to cutting. So I finally got everything set up and it's all ready to go. I ended up wanting to saw this maple here. It's about 3.5 feet long, 18 inches at its widest, maybe 20. And it's got some really pretty spalting that seems to run throughout the wood, so I'm very curious about this. But I figured something this small would be good to start with. But anyways, let me get the saw started up and we'll see how it goes. Alright, so I'm finally about to start my last cut, and so far everything has gone fantastic. I really cannot complain. It has taken a little bit getting used to with the bar and how the chain pulls and stuff like that, but overall I'm thrilled. The slabs are beautiful, the cuts are coming out nice and pretty clean as far as the chainsaw cut goes. So no complaints at all, and I just know I'm really excited now. I'm ready to cut up more boards. But anyways, it's been a long and hot day, so let me get this thing fired back up, get this last cut done, and call it a day. Well, the slabs have been cut, they're sealed and stacked, and they are currently drying, and we're just playing the waiting game for that. Now those slabs are currently sitting around 25 to 30% moisture, so it might be a while, and usually the rule of thumb for air drying lumber is 1 year per inch, and hopefully I might build a little kiln to help speed up that process, but that's for a future video. So 2 things I would take away as a first time user for the chainsaw mill, and this is just something I want to share with anybody who else has an interest in potentially using one. First, I would invest in a very good ripping chain. Now I went with the Grandberg 30-inch ripping chain, and besides the saw, that thing was the workhorse behind this whole process. I was able to get 5 slabs out of that log, and I did not have to stop and sharpen once. Now granted, it wouldn't have hurt if I did sharpen, but I wanted to see just how many cuts I could get without having to do that, and it did the whole log without needing to. Every cut was nice and clean. Second, I would create these little story blocks or depth blocks that I was using to put under my rails here. Instead of having to manually level out each side, I would put them under, set the rails down on top, and then just tighten up, so that way I was guaranteed a level cut throughout the whole process. And that made life 10 times easier. So those are 2 things I would recommend. And again, take what I say with a grain of salt, because this was just my first time and I am still learning. But those 2 things did make life and the whole process easier. Also, I want to give a huge shout out to everybody who's been watching my videos and subscribing. I recently crossed 2,000 subscribers, which to me is a huge deal. It took me almost a year to reach 1,000, and then roughly 6 months to reach 2, which is crazy to me. And I'm really excited about how this channel is growing and the direction it's heading in. So if you enjoy this kind of content, please let me know. I would love to hear some feedback on what you think. But anyways, again, I appreciate y'all checking out this video, and I hope to see y'all next time.